So just as I was editing the Aaron Banks video, the guard the Packers signed as their first free agency signing of 2025, the Packers signed yet another free agent. They have signed former Raiders cornerback Nate Hobbs. It's a 4-year, $48 million deal, including $16 million guaranteed. Again, just reiterating the low guarantees that the Packers typically give out. As I was talking about that with the Aaron Banks video, this low guarantee of $16 million, again, making this more of a low risk, high reward type of deal. The Packers had a need at cornerback, and Nate Hobbs is definitely a versatile piece. So let's break it down. Nate Hobbs is a former 5th round draft selection, still 25 years old, was drafted in that 2021 draft to the Raiders out of the University of Illinois, and has played a lot of snaps on that Raiders defense over the past 4 seasons. When you bring up his PFF grades over the past 4 seasons, you can see in 2021 as a rookie graded out as an 80.1. Now, he's graded out above average, 60 is average, every single year of his career. Most recently in 2024, a 61.4 grade. Did miss a decent amount of tackles in 2024 with 13 missed tackles, or a 22.4 missed tackle percentage, which is a little bit of a worry there. But what's very interesting about Nate Hobbs is the versatility. You know, when we talk Green Bay Packers and what they like to add at pretty much every position, one of the main words that comes up is versatility, and that's exactly what Nate Hobbs has. As you see here, his alignment snap counts. In 2024, he played 304 snaps in the slot, 104 at outside boundary corner. In 2023, 500 snaps in the slot. In 2022, 500 snaps at boundary, so he was more of a boundary guy right after he played 748 snaps as a rookie in the slot. So although he is more of a slot cornerback over the past 4 seasons, the Packers could eye him as a pure boundary guy, but more importantly, a guy with versatility that has inside-outside versatility, just like Keyshawn Nixon. Now, this is definitely a question of what do they expect him to play? And if it's nickel, what are they really projecting Javon Bullard to do? Because I think a lot of us can agree Javon Bullard likely better suited as a nickel guy, but also not the best coverage guy on passing downs out of the slot. I think we can all agree also that safeties right now, that the starters there seem very likely as Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams. But now the Packers have a lot of guys to move around, and in case of injury, right, Keyshawn Nixon can play pretty much every position. Javon Bullard can play nickel, he can play safety. Carrington Valentine, more of just a boundary guy. Now Nate Hobbs, a very versatile guy that outside of 2024, a very, very solid run defender as well. In terms of run defense, Nate Hobbs has an 81.6 run defense grade in his career, which is 6th best amongst cornerbacks, and 81 total defensive stops in that span, which is 7th best. And he's not someone that the Raiders and Raiders fans wanted them to let go. Nate Hobbs was a player that a lot of Raiders fans wanted to keep in the building. And although Hobbs mainly has played nickel for the Raiders defense, Keyshawn Nixon mainly played nickel. Now he's a boundary corner for the Packers, and honestly, he's a lot better at boundary than he is in the nickel. And Nate Hobbs, has the size and the profile to play boundary corner. He had a 9.62 RAS coming out of Illinois. He has 32.5-inch arms, so pretty long arms for a 5'11 cornerback. Very long arms for a 5'11 cornerback. Has the weight at 196 pounds. Strong, 17 bench reps. Elite explosion, 40.5-inch vertical, 11'3" broad jump, and has the speed with 4.48 40. Another advanced metric on Nate Hobbs, he was the 11th best coverage corner via EPA, an advanced metric, minus 15.6 among all defensive backs that saw at least 40 targets last season. Now, this was out of the nickel, so you got to keep that in mind. And maybe the Packers project Javon Bullard as a early down, big nickel kind of guy, defend the run, and when it comes passing situations, Nate Hobbs maybe moves into slot and Carrington Valentine comes on, or they send out a dime look and that's Nate Hobbs in the slot with Javon Bullard, right? There's a ton of different options here, and I like the versatility of Nate Hobbs. He wasn't necessarily a corner I had circled because I looked at his profile and I was like, okay, this is a nickel guy by nature. But now that you look at him more in depth and now that he's a Packers signing, you start to understand what he could do for the Jeff Hafley defense, right? You can put him at outside, you could put him at inside. He's a good run defender, good against the pass. He has great athleticism, and he's still a very young corner at 25 years old. Plus, like it said at the beginning of the video, it's only $16 million guaranteed, and this deal overall is a 4-year deal, and it's written down as $12 million average per year. But with only $16 million guaranteed, again, this is more of a 2-year deal with $8 million guaranteed in each year, and then the Packers can decide what they want to do after year 2, which makes a lot of sense. Just like the Aaron Banks signing, the Packers aren't going to come out here and offer the tons of guaranteed money that a lot of these free agents want and will overpay to get them in the building. That's not something the Packers are going to generally do. So again, another low risk, high reward signing for the Green Bay Packers here. And I fully expect them to still go into this draft and get a cornerback early, just adding more talent into that room that's probably losing Jair Alexander. Eric Stokes as good as gone. They're losing Robert Rochelle and Corey Ballantyne as well. They have Kalen King, who can also play nickel. So it seems more and more likely that they view Nate Hobbs as a boundary corner. So now we have competition there, right? We have Carrington Valentine, Nate Hobbs, Keyshawn Nixon, likely an early draft pick. And just like the Aaron Banks signing, competition is great. It'll make each player better. So overall, this is a signing that I didn't really have circled on my list. There's some other cornerbacks that I thought could be options for the Green Bay Packers. But now, once I see the signing, you dive down into the player a little bit more, see what they could offer for your team. I really like both of these signings. Now, if there's tons of guaranteed money tied to the both of them, I'd be a little bit more hesitant to jump out and just be like, I love these signings, right? But I do like them because Aaron Banks plugs right in as a starting guard, allows you to put Elton Jenkins to center. Nate Hobbs comes in, has versatility inside, outside, gives you competition at outside corner, and you likely still draft one. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys coming by to the channel. If you're a new viewer and you're just stopping in to check out these signings for the Packers, I implore you to go and click the subscribe button to get the latest news for the Green Bay Packers. You'll find it all here on this channel. Appreciate you guys coming by. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, go Pack Go.